Let's work with fear today. And I'm really excited about this topic. I know, who gets excited about working with fear? I do, because this has been so paralyzing in my life before somatic experiencing. And I'm excited to share with you the tools that has helped me work with fear and not be controlled by fear. Actually, it's helped me use fear in order to guide my decisions, guide my life in a healthy way now, because I know what my body's trying to tell me with the tools that I'm going to teach you today with somatic experiencing. So let's jump in. I want you to think of a situation in which you have felt afraid in the past. Does not need to be anything great, major, dramatic. Anything will do for this exercise. Just like the days before, I want you to put yourself back in that moment and remember where you were, what you were doing, so that you can experience to some degree that same emotion of fear. I have my situation in mind, and once I have that, I immediately notice the knot that has appeared in my stomach. More than anything else, and my hands just got a little sweaty too. But more than that, the most uncomfortable thing is my stomach is in knots. Really tight. It feels like someone just went in there and turned it, like cranked it, not just turned it, like really twisted a knife. So I'm going to move now towards finding a way to work with the fear. Once you have identified where it's showing up in your body in the most uncomfortable place, then you can start experimenting as well. I think that you're probably getting good at this. In order to experiment with my knot in my stomach, and that's what I'm going to call it now. I'm not going to call it fear. I'm not going to call it anxiety. I'm going to call it the knot in my stomach because that's what I'm focused on. I'm going to put my hands directly over that knot. And as I do that, the intensity actually went up. That was not helpful. So I'm going to take my hands away and I'm going to give that intensity a number, a 6, and that way I have something to work with. When I put my hands there, it went up to a 7, maybe even an 8. So I'm going to experiment with other ways. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my hands on the very edge of what feels like that knot. And I wouldn't say that it has changed much. I'm going to shift my hands now and feel like it's below the knot and like I'm even holding it up. Interesting. And there's my spontaneous deep breath. I have found what is helpful. So I'm going to hang out here for a bit, holding up my knot in my stomach while you do your experimenting, and I'll just stay with you here for a second. You do your experimenting and find what is helpful for you in your body. And as you find that, pause. Just like I'm pausing here, I'm still holding up that knot in my stomach. It may shift. You may start to feel other things. I'm starting to feel a little bit of the sore throat that I started to feel with sadness. So I know that along mixed with this fear is some sadness. It's very normal to have mixed emotional states, right? But our nervous system gets very predictable at how it expresses these emotions in our biology. And it's very helpful to get out of the story, out of the thoughts, and just into how these emotions are showing up in our biology, and then being able to work with our biology to support them or manage it, as it in the case with anger. And today we're working with fear, and I'm still holding up this knot in my stomach. And once you've found what is helpful for you, I want you to write it down. Some things that have been helpful for other people, especially with fear, has been pushing away. So I'm going to push you away right now. Going to push you away. And again, this is a slow movement. I'm not doing anything fast or aggressive here, but I'm pushing. It's almost as if I'm pushing away a heavy rock, right? Like I've got some muscle behind it and I'm pushing things away. And there's another deep, spontaneous breath for me. So that is also helpful for my system. And the more things that I can find that are helpful, the more tools I have in the moment when this knot shows up in my stomach again, and I know that, whoa, my system has shifted into fear and anxiety, and I want to bring that level of intensity down so that I can get back to a place of calm aliveness and have clarity of mind and be able to really be in the best place to decide what to do next.